Good morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. I'm Tommy Price. I'm going to be joined in just a little bit by Jeff Palmero on this Friday morning. Ronnie's away from the microphone and the camera today, but that's all right. Hey, we got a lot to cover today, a lot of big things. First, I want to remind you that I am at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, where they can do on-site catering and get everything you need for the weekend, the wine to the whiskey, the vodka, the tequila, and, of course, all the great food and seafood and Chairman's Reserve meats and sausages and you name it, they got it at Tremonti's. Lunch special today, fried catfish, topped with crawfish etouffee. As always, we're sponsored by the LeBares Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge. The Barstool Sportsbook going to have a new name soon. And, of course, you can place your bets on the Major League Baseball divisional round, which begins tomorrow, 4 games tomorrow in MLB postseason. The New Orleans Saints, and, of course, LSU, Missouri. Now, programming note for you. LSU, Missouri, as you know, kicks off at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. We will do Sports Shorts Radio from 9 to 11, a slight time change due to the LSU kickoff, and we'll be live and in color at Calandro Supermarket on Perkins, near Perkins and Segan. I'll be over there. Hunter McCann, Derry Beckwith, Joel Davis. Ronnie is again on vacation. Of course, you can listen on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and we encourage you to do that or stop by Calandro's, get the last-minute things you need for the 11 o'clock kickoff with LSU. So keep that in mind, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Like and share this video. We always ask you to do that. It helps out a whole lot, and we hope you can get that done. LSU, now a 4.5-point favorite over Missouri. At Missouri. Missouri's 5-0, a last-minute field goal victory over Kansas State, but they're 5-0. They're 1-0 in conference play, and if they're going to do anything in the East, if they're going to mean business, they got to beat LSU. This was a 7.5 and an 8-point line, LSU as the favorite when it opened up earlier in the week. The over and under 64.5. A lot of people think it'll be a lot of points scored. They'll get over that total of 64.5. Time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see. But LSU, Missouri. Do I think Missouri can score, can move the ball up and down the field? Yes, but so can LSU. LSU's offense is arguably the third best offense that they have had in school history. So it's going to be an interesting game between LSU and Missouri. No question about that. Jeff Palermo, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, Tommy. How about yourself? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hanging in there. We're doing good. Jeff Palermo is going to join us right now. Jeff, before we get going on LSU, Missouri, what high school games do you guys have tonight, and how can people watch?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Tommy. The game we got tonight is going to be an interesting one. We got St. Martin's versus Riverside, and St. Martin's, of course, they have Harlem Berry, one of the best names in all of high school football, and he's one of the best running backs in the state of Louisiana in the class of 2025. He has put St. Martin's on the map when it comes to football, Tommy. They went to the semifinals last year when he was a sophomore, and this year St. Martin's is off to a 5-0 start under first-year head coach Kevin Dizer, who took over for Frank Gendusa, who was a legendary figure as a high school football coach in New Orleans, where he coached Eli Manning and so forth. So so tonight's going to be a really good game. They're playing Riverside. Riverside's 3-1. They lost to Newman earlier this year. But this is a big measuring stick for St. Martin's. If St. Martin's thinks that they could potentially compete once again, especially in the Division IV select side, this is the kind of game at home that they need to win. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing what Harlem Berry can do tonight.
Tomorrow, LSU, Missouri, 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what you and I can say, Jeff, that hadn't been said, but your thoughts and what are you expecting to see between the Tigers and the Tigers from Columbia tomorrow?
Well, on paper, Tommy, man, does it seem like it's it seems like it will be a high-scoring affair, don't it? Because you have, obviously, we know what LSU can do offensively with Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Logan Diggs. Even if
All right, Jeff rose up for a minute there.
He's really good as well. And so, and then they have an outstanding wide receiver. We could see most likely that the three best wide receivers in all of college football will be in this game. So this has the potential to be a barn burner. Now, the focus has been on for LSU, especially on that defensive line. They got to get better. They have to establish the line of scrimmage. They can't be getting blown off the ball like they did last week against Ole Miss. I know all the focus is on the defensive secondary and the mistakes that they're making, but, man, I think this defensive line has been just very underwhelming and very disappointing so far this season.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And that point spread has come down, and it's an important game for LSU for lots of reasons. It's obviously important for Missouri as well. But Tigers got to, in the last two games, they've been up 86 points, 1,300 something yards. I mean, the yards after contact that the opponents are getting are way above the norm. So, as Brian Kelly said, it's got to get fixed, and it's got to get fixed Saturday morning. If you're Missouri, you're licking your chops. You're saying, look what Arkansas and Ole Miss did to this team. We can't wait for kickoff. We want to see what we can do. Their quarterback's pretty good, great receiver, and they're going to be at home. The crowd's fired up because they're 5-0, and Coach Drinkwitz has kind of quietly become a pretty darn good coach in the SEC up there at Missouri. So we'll see what happens with that. Hey, for a little interesting note for the Tiger fans, Auburn, LSU's next opponent, has an open date. So Auburn's going to be in front of the TV, you would think, watching the game and resting up, getting ready for that following week's matchup in Tiger Stadium. Jeff Palermo, the New Orleans Saints, it's now a picket game. It's a toss-up. It's a coin flip on the road against the Patriots, who got blown away last week. The Saints got a good defense, but their offense is the big question mark. Your observations on the Saints?
Well, the last couple of weeks have been really disappointing, obviously. I mean, you had that game against Green Bay, and you let Jordan Love get going, and then you couldn't find the end zone with Jameis Winston as your quarterback. You couldn't find the end zone last week. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much longer. There's a feeling, Tommy, that I feel like saying, this is Derek Carr now. I mean, there's a reason why the guy got benched. I mean, the Saints were not getting a Pro Bowl quarterback when they signed this guy to 4 years. I mean, when you get benched at this stage of your career, there's a reason for it. And I understand he was hurt last week, and if he was too hurt to play, then he should not have played. That's where your head coach has got to step in and say, hey, Derek, I appreciate the effort that you're putting in there, but we're going to go with Jameis this Sunday. I mean, and then why, if you're hesitant to use Jameis, why do you still have him on the roster? Right? Go find another backup quarterback if you don't have trust in him. I just don't trust this coaching staff. I don't trust Dennis Allen. I don't trust Pete Carmichael. Obviously, the defense is playing great. That's the shame in all of this. Just like on LSU's side, you're wasting an offense that can win you a national championship. For the Saints, you're wasting a defense that can take you deep into the playoffs because you're messing around here with you sign a guy in Derek Carr, who I think his best days are beyond him. You have an offensive coordinator in Pete Carmichael, who was a caddy for Sean Payton. I mean, he's not a full-time play caller. I think he's a really good game planner. I mean, when you hear from Drew Brees and what Pete Carmichael meant to all those great Saints teams, I get it. I think you can develop a game plan, but developing a game plan and being a play caller are two separate things. And I think that's where he really struggles because I don't understand how Chris Olave comes away with just one catch in a game. When you're doing that, then you're fundamentally doing something wrong offensively for the Saints. But here's the bright spot. They're taking on the New England Patriots. The Patriots are bad. They lost a couple of defensive starters in that loss to Dallas. Mac Jones is bad. This is a game for the Saints to get right. I tell you, I know they're going on the road and all that, Tommy, but if they don't win this game, I think the season is toast.
Yeah, I would agree. Although the NFC South, they're a game out of first, mathematically. But you're right. If they win this game, it sets up what could be for going forward. And, I'm like you. If Derek Carr played last week, I was shocked. I was surprised. I didn't think that he would play. That tells me they don't have confidence in Jameis Winston as they put, no NFL player is 100% healthy right now. We all got, aches and pains and bumps and bruises. But to put a, 70%, 75% Derek Carr out there, because that tells me you don't have confidence in Jameis Winston. So I don't know. And they got to lean on Taysom Hill more. The numbers for the Saints, when he touches the ball, whether you like Taysom Hill, you like the whole idea and concept, they have a significantly better winning record when he gets very involved in the game. That's facts. That's not a hope and a wish. That's the numbers as they are dictated. So, like you said, Olave one catch. That's something really wrong there. Okay, and that's coaching. All right, when you got a player like Olave and Thomas on the other end. I mean, I'm on record. I think the Saints will make a coaching change before the end of the season, unless they get really hot, and win 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, and if they're in contention to be in the playoffs. I think if it gets to a point that they're not a playoff team, they got to make at least an offensive coordinator change and perhaps a head coach change, and that's really rumbling through the Crescent City right now pretty strongly. So we'll have to see. Anything can happen in the NFL. Who would have thought the Bears would double up the Commanders last night like they did? So, any given. Your Bears. I know I had to get your Bears in there. You loving the Bears. And what time do the Cubs play tomorrow? I wanted to ask.
Come on, Tommy, come on. Let me
Speaking
enjoy
of
like one win.
Okay, well, you need to enjoy that one. That was well done. And, of course, Major League Baseball 4 division rounds get underway tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning on Sports Shorts Radio. Don't forget, radio tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Because of the LSU kick. We'll be at the Calandros on Perkins. We want you to come on out and make sure you listen 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Jeff, the LSU baseball, they're practicing. They have a 5 o'clock scrimmage Friday, a 1 o'clock scrimmage Sunday. Weather's supposed to be really nice, not too hot, not too cold. And it's free for fans. You can go out there, sit down close to the field, by the dugout, whatever you want to do. Jay Johnson had the presser a little earlier this week. He's ready to get this next season going. Tommy White will not participate in the fall. He had shoulder surgery. But that's okay. He'll be fine come January, February when they need him. But a lot of excitement brewing about LSU baseball, and rightfully so.
It's going to be a different looking team. There's no doubt about that. And a lot of positions that need to be settled. It seems like they got plenty of pitching, especially from the left side, which will be very interesting. But, now the challenge is, okay, Jay Johnson, you had the 2 best players in college baseball, and you rode that really hard, and that really helped you. And obviously you had a little more than that. You had a lot more than that. But now I think you're going to have more of it's going to really certainly take you're not going to have, I don't think, that dominant ace in your first game of the series. I mean, that when you got a guy like that and Paul Skeens, or when Paul Maneri had Aaron Nola, and you give him the ball and you pretty much can almost put it in pen that you're going to win that first game of the series, that just makes it a lot easier. So I'm very interested to see is Thatcher Hurd going to be that guy on a Friday night that you can really depend on? Dylan Cruz, to just the consistency that you got from him. And then you had all those veteran guys that were around for such a long time that were part of that championship team a year ago. And so can you the Gavin Dugases of the world, how do you replicate that? I don't think you can, but I think this is going to be more of a, you're going to need everybody kind of pulling on the rope at the same time here, because you're not going to have just 2 big-time stars like you did last year leading the way.
Well, we'll defer to Jay Johnson. We'll see what he can come up with. I'm going to try to get out there Sunday, actually, and watch a couple of innings or so of baseball, and certainly get out there again this fall if I don't make it Sunday. Jeff, tell everybody how they can keep up with you, your radio show, and, of course, that football game tonight. How can they watch?
Yeah, tonight you can watch for free if you don't have Cox. If you have Cox, obviously just flip over to Cox Cable Channel 4. But go to watch.yourview.com. We stream all our games there. You can watch some of our previous games. We had a really good game last week. Hahnville gave East St. John all they wanted in a homecoming matchup last Friday night in reserve. So, and this should be a lot of fun. I think LSU fans are going to want to see Harlan Berry. I got to see him play last year against Vermilion Catholic. Vermilion Catholic was just too good, and he really couldn't get going. This is a game where I think he can get, 150, 200 yards against a good Riverside team. And I think I get the sense that they've kind of figured out, how to give him a little bit more help this year so that not everybody's eyeing him. So, but yeah, go to watch.yourview.com. You can look at some of my articles on LSU at wwl.com. I do a lot of writing for 870 and 105.3 FM. And then you got Tiger Rag Radio on Tuesday night that you can hear on Talk 107.3 in Baton Rouge. That's every 6 to 8 o'clock as we break down the previous game and look ahead to the next week. So those are the various outlets that you can check me out on.
Hey, Jeff, we appreciate it as always, and hopefully your Bears can keep getting something going. Jeff, thank you for your time. We'll visit with you again soon.
All right, Tommy. Thanks for your patience. Sorry I was late.
We're good. We're good. Thank you. All right, that's Jeff Palermo. Now, don't forget Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Everything you need for the weekend to watch the Saints, watch LSU. You're going to that high school football game tonight. You got all the whiskey, the wine, and 20 flavors of sausage, Chairman's Reserve meats, and, of course, chicken, pork. They got it all here. Seafood, hamburgers. Get you a box of burgers. They're great at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Box of burgers, got a dozen of them in there. They're packed 6 packs of 2. Take them out as you need them, or whip them all out for the weekend. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. Do a great job of posting stuff there. And, of course, the on-site catering at Tremonti's.com. Fried turkey season around the corner. Hunting season. They do a lot of game processing, deer processing here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood as well. Don't forget, tomorrow morning we'll be at Calandro's on Perkins Road for Sports Shorts Radio. Hunter McCann, Derry Beckwith, Joel Davis, and myself, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. due to the 11 o'clock kickoff for the LSU Tigers. So make that little change in your programming and put a note in your phone. 9 to 11, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Sports Shorts Radio. And, of course, as always, Sports Shorts Daily is presented by the LeBears Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge. The Barstool Sportsbook, soon to have a new name, where you can place bets, big, small, doesn't matter. Get on out there. And don't forget the Edge Lounge, the live entertainment tonight and tomorrow night in the back left corner of the casino floor at LeBears Casino and Hotel Baton Rouge. I want you to certainly check all of that out as well. And as we always say, like and share this video. That helps. We'll have Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning, as I mentioned, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And, of course, Monday, Sports Shorts Daily, 9:30. We'll recap the weekend. I'll be at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. We'll have a special co-host. Ronnie Rance will be away from the microphone that day as well. Hope you have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend. And, again, like and share this video. That's what helps everything out. We appreciate everyone who takes the time to like and share and watch Sports Shorts Daily. Have a great day, everyone.